Jai Shri Krishna. Once again, Nutan Varsha Abhinandan. Happy New Year. Upcoming Sankranti. I know I get carried away. Such is His glory. And you put up with it. Forgive me. So, Gita to karenge hi. We are in the 18th chapter, somewhere between 35th and 40th verse. लेकिन उसके पहले जैसे ध्यान के समय कहाँ थोड़ी सी फिर याद दिला दे, संक्रांति का दिन है, बहुत अच्छा मुहूर्त है अभी जो आने वाला है. You all might remember the story that Bhishma Pitama had. Is English okay with everyone? Yeah? Okay. Bhishma Pitama had waited for this. The Mahabharata war was already over, 18 days में. But he said, no, he had this, he could wish when he wanted to die. And he said, well, die I must. Even though he was given a boon, he realized that everyone will have to leave, one way or the other. But why don't I wait until the right time? Until the Sankranti ka din jo hai 14th of January. So he waited, he fasted and he waited. And he said, I will leave my breath on that day when the sun changes his journey, southernmost, then turning around and then going northbound. Just Uttarayan kehte, Uttar, north, upper, higher. And then from that day onwards, we also start to see on the horizon brighter days. The insolation of the sun is brighter also. And he said that I will want my Lord in front of me. Krishna, he knew who he was fighting. He knew that there was a dead end. There was no way to win. And yet he was misinformed by dharma. What he believed to be his dharma turned out to be adharma, in fact. And Krishna tried to tell him. But anyway, that's a different story. We're here for the Gita. But the point being that it's a phenomenal day. Kranti means revolution, revolt. Sama is like first class, like even. Sankraman, like really once and for all, as final blow. That's Sankranti. It isn't meant only for, it is definitely meant for being sweet. And maybe that could be the Kranti, that from here on I will be sweet. Til or gul, like sesame seeds and sugar or jaggery. Til ke liye aisa kaha jata hai, you may have heard tilli mein tel. Til mein, har til mein tel hota hai na? Every sesame seed has a droplet of oil, sesame oil, right? तिल्ली में तेल, चकमक में आग, तेरा साई तुझ में है, जाग सके तो जाग. Every sesame seed has that very same sesame oil in it, just as in you and you and you and all of you and me is the same Lord, indwelling Lord. And this is the opportunity. Sankranti is sweet, jaggery, sugar. From the up and the bottom and the right side, left side, inside, outside, sugar is nothing but sweet, no matter what. Wherever you put it, you throw it on the ground, it is sweet. You throw it in the mud, it is sweet. You put it in water, it is sweet. You put it on your tongue, it is sweet. You do nothing to it, leave it for 10 years, it is still sweet. And so may I realize the Lord within me, the sesame seed, and from there on, may I just be loving, nothing but love, like sugar, sweet. So that's one feeling behind it. And so may it be that kind of revolution in that I'm just going to stop doing what I've been doing, and then with a resolute mind. And we happen to be in that part of the Gita right now, and we take these verses up. Last time what we'd covered also about. So that's Sankranti, Samyak Kranti, Te Sankranti. Sankraman karna hai, like transgressing, jumping across and leaping across. Because we've been trying to and then drag down, and this time I'm just going to jump across. Not try to walk on it, but jumping across. So it's just a reminder. I had shared with you the path that I followed. One of the aspects of it has been that I try not to miss these types of opportunities to internalize the whatever it signifies, rather than be wrapped up in the external aspect of it. It is good and important and right to also uphold the external part of it, exterior. We must, because that's part of our dharma. But it is superior still alongside if we also internalize it, like make it our own. It is good to read the Gita and memorize it and all of that. Far superior, far, far, far superior is to internalize it. It is great to worship Krishna's statue. It is far, far superior to make him your own. Krishna is mine, no one else's. And so it's all about the whole glory is of internalizing. Until we make it our own, it just remains someone else's. And we're looking for our own joy. It's so simple. The logic is very simple. Are you looking for my joy? Are you looking for your joy? You're looking for your happiness, aren't you? I'm asking you. Are you looking day and night? You've been working hard. You got this big house and the cars and like the vacations. Was it for my joy? I'm asking. Or was it for your joy? Whatever I do you think I do it for your joy, or do you think I do it for my joy? And so we try to embody, personalize it. And so it is with whatever it is. That external is simply merely a reminder. External icons, external symbols, external celebrations, they are the reminder that, oh yeah, I don't want to miss internalizing. I need to make it my own, personalize it. And so this is that opportunity, one of the few moments so I've taken these opportunities to internalize and personalize and with each time I've found that it helps. It doesn't work always, but whenever it works really well. So I'd encourage you, I'm sharing my, essentially my journey, if you will. Feel free to take what you like from it and toss what you don't, but find your own. Each soul it's on its own journey. We cannot travel on someone else's, and we cannot take for someone else's joy. You cannot take my vacation just like that. I have to go to my work. I cannot go to your work. And so it is that the soul must complete its own journey back to where we started. And the starting point is inside, and we're searching outside. and so the U-turn, suggested by none other than the sun god, so that everyone on the planet can see, the U-turn had been going southbound, the Dakshinayan chal raha hai, soon about to reach the southernmost point, and then, so to speak, in a way, obviously it is the earth that goes around, as we know, but the way we see it, the way it appears. So does that make sense? The संक्रांति का महत्व है ना. तो ये सारे जो हमारे 44 different festivals है ना अपने हिंदू धर्म में, each of them has some significance like this. And the year starts, he said Happy New Year. The year starts with happiness. This year starts with Sankranti. It says like right at the onset, right in the beginning, now is the time, turn, है ना? And then therefore by the end of the year, then we will have reached. So with that reminder, we'll go back to the Gita. I think from what I remember in the 18th chapter where we were last time, so we're approaching the final turn, I should say, in the Gita. Like not only in this chapter, but really a sort of a dramatic final turn in the Gita itself. And we're not going to take that turn today, but I'm just giving you that it's coming. You know how you see it's the sign, the exit is coming 3 miles away. That sort of thing. Yeah, we might approach that next time. I think next Sunday, February 2nd, Purviban, I think. That's when we have, right? Next, not next Sunday, but February 2nd, right here at the same time, 2 o'clock. We might get close to that at that time, to the turn. But that, once we take that exit, it is a glorious vista. It opens up, that's just absolutely, like really, really brings the whole theme together. Krishna does. And then just situates us. So before that, last time, what we've been doing the last few sessions in the 18th chapter is Krishna is finishing his description of the 3 types, the 3 categories. And those of you who have been attending, right? Like Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. This theme originally started in chapter 14, which is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the 3-fold nature. And then off and on it was, the whole chapter 14 was focused on that. Then we did something different in 15, 16. 17th chapter, he started to share the application of it. How do they show up? How does Sattvikta show up? What does goodness look like? How does Tamasikta, how does passion drive? And how does inertia or ignorance or stupidity show up? In which aspects of it? That's Tamasic. Well, it shows up in everything I do. It shows up in the way I dress, what I choose to read, what I eat, how I behave, how I talk, and the choices I make. Those three show up in all of those. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. And so what do you mean all of those? And so that's what Krishna had been decoding, that complexity. The entire chapter 17 was devoted to that Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. In the third verse of that, it said, Yo yat Shraddha sa evaya. It is important to understand, he says, because wherever otherwise you'll just blindly believe something, and your faith will take you somewhere, and that's what you'll become. Buddha Dev has also said, you are what you believe. Simple as that. Like whatever I keep believing, I eventually follow that and then become that, literally. And so he says it's important to understand this is the sattvic type of Shraddha, this is the Rajasic type of Shraddha. Shraddha is belief. And this is the belief that drives us, sort of the setting. Where do I want my mind to be set? Where is my gravity? The gravity of my mind, the propensities could be in Satvikta, the goodness, or Rajasikta, which is this passionate drive to always do something, which is characterized by more and different. And Satvikta is always characterized by contentment, that this is enough. I want, as long as it's good and adequate, it's enough. There is endeavor to have enough and the right kind, and then there is Shanti in it. So Satvikta is superbly characterized by Shanti. Sham karoti, during the meditation I vocalize my aphorism that Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. 3 बार कहते हैं ना at the end of any ritual. You all familiar with it? Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. इसके पीछे भावना थी कि Om Shanti, does that mean all my desires are fulfilled? Shanti, that's real Shanti. Shanti is not just quiet, है ना? अंदर में शांति जब हो, बाहर की शांति नहीं है. Quiet भी होगे तो Om Shanti is all my desires are fulfilled. फिर से कहा Om Shanti, all my conflicts are resolved. I'm sorted. कोई friction नहीं है अभी. किसी के साथ कोई बदला नहीं लगा. There is no revenge. There is no लेना देना नहीं बाकी रहा trade. All trade is resolved. है ना? Internally, obviously, externally we do and we must. And there's nothing wrong with it. है ना? But internally, all desires are fulfilled. Om Shanti. All conflicts are resolved. Om Shanti. All fears are banished. कोई डर नहीं रहा. What if this? What if that? No. Just fearless, fear-free, rather. So that is the characteristic of the Sattvic Guna. And it's consistent with where we are in this chapter. Rajasic Guna is yes and. Like yes, Rajasic is still has some tendency bend towards Satvikta, but feels like unfulfilled still. But just a little more, like almost there, not quite. Almost a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. The trouble with that is that little bit more is never enough. And then life comes and death happens. And then life comes and death happens. That little bit more is never enough. जैसे वो कृष्ण को बांधा यशोदा माता ने उखल को तो दो अंगुली कम पड़ती थी ना. Like have you heard the story? Like she could not tie him to that ukhal because just the two fingers. ऐसा थोड़ा सा होता है. And then Tamasikta is characterized by ignorance and inertia, like dull, stupid. Like I don't want to think. Thoughtlessly wasteful is how I would describe it. Like whatever. Like basically not even living a human life. So how it shows up is what he started describing in the 17th chapter, continued that theme in the 18th chapter, and which is where we are and about to wrap up. I think we will wrap that up today, which is why we'll take that dramatic turn the next time. So last time we talked about sukh, pleasure. Pleasures are of 3 kinds. उसके पहले कहा था धैर्य, grit, the resolute. ये तो करके रहूँगा. I will do this. I will accomplish this. I must do this. Just strong desire जो होती है, resolute जो होता है. I'll finish this a little bit in just a few minutes and then we'll stop for some reactions and then we'll take the next stage also, like the way we do it, right? So पहले के धैर्य था last time के, just to set the context because we may have forgotten, was like Sattvic people are resolute in a certain way, that they have certain ways to be resolved in certain things. Sattvic sadhana jo bhi. Rajasic people are resolved in some other things, and tamasic are resolved in yet others, like inertia. So we're not going to go back because we've already covered that, and those sessions are posted on YouTube and WhatsApp and all of them. You can always, otherwise let me know, I can send those. Then we've covered the pleasures are also of three kinds. In very short, in brief, you know how we say delayed gratification. We've heard of it, the term delayed gratification. So he says that is the sattvic. This is all in the Gita. Like, these are not modern concepts. This is all thousands of years ago spoken. Gita was spoken some 5,250 years ago, but it is entirely sourced in the Upanishads, which predate the Gita also, from the Vedas, which was even thousands of years ago. You know? So delayed gratification is sattvic, something that says however much I have is enough. Like, I'd rather just save it for later and really have what I need when I need. In a manner of speaking, that's not all there is to it, but I'm just like to briefly saying. Rajasic pleasures are the opposite. Instant gratification. I want it now. Like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, but like just now. Therefore passionately driving. Now finishes, and then what? More and more and more. Right? Like now finishes then. And Sattvic says, maybe I need, maybe I don't need. I'll take it when I need it. I don't need it right now. Now that's the characteristic of Sattvic. Only as much as needed. So this is interesting, Madhvi. We went to Japan last month, and we spent about 10 days there. And one of the things that struck us was the whole design. She studied architecture, and she was pointing out the entire design of whatever. The spoon and the furniture and the temples and the roads and the cars even. It struck me also with the precision with which the design was only as much as needed. As if by the time I was ready to leave Japan, the theme in my head was Japan is all about only as much as is needed. And that's Sattvic setting. Now America is a Rajasic setting. Bigger is better. So, or in other words, Sattvic might say bitter is better. They say Karela is better for you. Like the truths can be bitter, but it's better. And Rajasic might say sweeter is better. I don't know about that. Like it might cause diabetes. And then Tamasic is again like whatever attitude jo diya. I don't care, whatever. Jo jaisa hai wo waisa hai. Like thoroughly ignorant, utterly thoughtless, wasteful. These are the characteristics of Tamasic pleasures. So all that we had covered last time. And then this time what we will cover is the four varnas. Like the last thing he says, like these are the characteristics, guna hai. Aur ye gunon ke anusar, based on the inherent qualities, my inherent quality, your inherent qualities, and their inherent qualities, people are sorted and categorized. Like what they will do the rest of their lives. Because we do what we like to do. We do what I'm good. I do what I'm good at. No? Everybody does. And so that's how the Varna ashram came. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. And this today's the 2 or 3 verses that we will cover. They are really sorted by what their setting is. So this comes in the Gita twice. In the 4th chapter, Ajkal we're afraid if you belong to the higher caste, it's like, I don't talk about it, because the lower caste people might not like it, the Muslims may not like it, the Christians might say you're all about caste and demons and this, that. ऐसी बात नहीं, ये भगवान सामने से छाती ठोक के सामने कहते मैंने बनाया. This God is like, I made these, I categorized Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But remember, they are not categorized by birth, they are categorized by guna, karma, vibhaga, shaha. He said that in the 4th chapter in the beginning. Chatur varanyam maya srishtam guna, karma, vibhaga, shaha. Vibhaga is categorized. Guna is your characteristics, like qualities. Karma is your deeds. Tasya kartarapimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. That was the shlok in the 4th chapter. Here he says the same, something similar, that guna karma ke anusar hai. And so therefore, if I'm born in a certain caste, that's almost like born in a certain category. Like based on the moment of my past lives, what have I always favored? What have I always bent towards? What have I always liked? what have, like, the skills that I've developed and the propensities I've amassed. It's okay, well, that's what you like, do that then. You like to be quiet, you like to study, you're a contemplator, you're a reflector, you're a thinker, you like to teach others. You don't care as much to amass wealth, you're happy and content with what you get. I'm going to put you in a Brahmin family. Go do that. And then, well, you like more, better, you want growth mindset, growing, growth, and Swami Bhav, like controlling, administrating, ruling. Great. If you're good at that, just go administer. Become an administrator class, which is the Kshatriya class. You're about trade, profit, loss, feeding, more feeding, like making sure that everybody's sustained, creating, generating for others. And then, okay, I'm going to put you in the Vaishya class. And you like to serve others. You're very skilled. You like to develop handyman skills. And you don't want to like mess too much with your brainy. You don't want to think too much. You just want to do. Then I'm going to put you in the Shudra class where you'll get to do a lot. You'll get to serve a lot. And so it's not, there is no class is higher than the other and no class is lower than the other, because all four are needed for that. So ये जो अभी जो verse आएगी, इसके पहले भगवान, so we'll go over that after this brief break that we will take to receive your reactions and reflections. But before that, the verse that we had not done last time, which we'll do today, is let's see, which is verse 40, chapter 18. न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृति जैर्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यास्त्रि त्रिभिर्गुणैः, forgive me, पृथ्वी में या आकाश में अथवा देवताओं में तथा इनके सिवा और कहीं भी वह ऐसा कोई भी सत्व नहीं है जो प्रकृति से उत्पन्न इन तीनों गुणों से रहित हो. It's a big proclamation. It says, like, don't be too proud or don't be too depressed. Don't feel like, well, I'm good or that they are bad. There is nothing in this entire creation ever created. No saint has been only good, and no thug, no gunda, daku has been only bad. Whatever here, there, everywhere, even in Swarga, that whatever has been created always has all three present in them, these three gunas. But the proportion varies based on time, place, and choices and all that. One could be disproportionately sattvic, pretty much predominantly set in goodness, in truth, in love, and they come across as that type. Someone could be predominantly set in the opposite, and they would come across as that. And so he says, because if it has been made, if it has been created, then it requires all three. Because the tamasic guna, the theory behind this is not in the Gita, it's in different scriptures. That the tamasikta jo, inertia jo hai, tamasa jo hai, darkness jo hai, it is an essential element. It holds everything together. It originates from Bhagavan Sandhini Shakti. He's got three kinds of energies, three categories. Sandhini is pakad ke rakhna, holding together. The power to hold together, does not want to move. And so it is necessary, otherwise my body would not hold itself together. My arms would fall out. My hair have started to fall down. But you get the idea. Those who've studied physics know that we could have no motion without friction. If there was no friction, there would be no motion. So it is necessary. Tamasikta is needed. Rajasikta is needed, and Sattvikta is needed also. Therefore, the point here is that, hey, he says, now that you understand these three categories, so how scientific is that, right? This is very technical, this is very logical, this is very rational and scientific. Again, so casually said. ये कोई concocted नहीं था, premeditated नहीं, भगवान ने सामने से पूछा, किसी ने बोल दिया सीधा, है ना? So casually, because it's come from the perfect, it's come from the source itself. So he says, hey, there's nothing that doesn't have all three. So don't worry about that. Don't sweat this, that as I have. Focus on where you want to go, what you want to, how you want to be. You want to show up. So that's where we were. Then today we will start with this verse. Brahmana kshatriya visham shudranam cha parantapa karmani pravibhaktani swabhava prabhavair gunaihi. This is number 41. Hey Parantap, ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय और वैश्यों के तथा शूद्रों के कर्म स्वभाव से उत्पन्न गुणों द्वारा विभक्त किए गए हैं। कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभाव प्रभवैर्गुणैः। Karmani, how they behave, vibhaktani have been sorted and categorized swabhav, उनका नेचर कैसा है, what do they like, उसके अनुसार। सो ये स्पष्ट हो गया ना, ये क्लियर हो गया ना। डरने की बात नहीं है, अगर ब्राह्मण है, वैश्य है, शूद्र है, डर के न रहे हिंदू धर्म में है तो कि ये कैसा बात करे, वो वैसा बात करे, लेकिन ढंग से समझ ले इस बात को, understand this properly, and then boldly, compassionately share with others that, yeah, I mean, a Muslim can absolutely be a Brahmin. I know so many Christians, devout Christians, who are better than Brahmins. And I cannot tell you how many Brahmins I know who are worse than Shudras. So it isn't just where you were born. It is in what choices are we making, how we are, right? So own this space, own our faith. And like, once we are informed of it, then we can decide, where do I want to go? What trajectory, what journey can I make? Which direction do I want to pick? So let me pause here for a moment to receive your reflections around what we've discussed so far. And then after we start again in a few minutes, we will see what are those characteristics. Brahman, जो भगवान ने कहा 4 प्रकार के, शमो दमः तपः शौचम क्षान्तिम आर्जवमेव च ब्रह्मचर्यम अहिंसाम च स्वाध्याय तप आर्जवम, जो भी जितने भी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स आते हैं इसमें, what's a Brahman like, what's a Shudra like, Kshatriya like. We'll do that next. So remember what we talked about Sankranti, just to refresh your memory, so you can share back what you picked up so far and how we can apply. And talked about Sankranti, we talked about the context of the Gita, we talked about the 3 gunas, it started in 14th chapter, how we've been sorting, and we also talked about where we are now in the Gita and where we're going. So I'm pausing here. Who would like to share first? Some of you at least. I think that's phenomenal. Oh, you gave it some new language also. The relaxed state, this sort of the aggravated, driven state, and just like the dumb state. And what also strikes me is here in the Gita, as Krishna says, that nothing in the creation is devoid of all 3. The same person, like I, can display sattvic, rajasic, tamasic depending on time and place, time and space also. The same man can be sattvic at a certain time, and what happened? Normally he's quiet and like बहुत उछल कूद कर रहा है, rajasic, and then tamasic, also influenced by the environment that we're in, right? The vibes that are created, and we even say that badi shanti lag rahi hai, the vibes are so good, and so this is the interplay for external environment with our internal environment. The other way to think about it is the more sattvic it is, the more internal environment, the more internally we are going, where there is deep quietude. And the more rajasic we're going, it is the more external environment. There's always constant motion around it. And tamasic is like neither here nor there, sort of thing. Okay.
Isn't it pretty similar to the example?
So maybe next time we can take that up, like the example that Purvi Behan gave about the feather in a glass box. I just made that up to understand. Just in a very, very quickly mentioning, if this room where we're sitting in was entirely glass, all sides there were glass, and there was a big fan blowing from the bottom of this floor, throwing air upward, but there was also a fan at the ceiling that's flowing air downward, and there was also Usha or Singer table fan on the table that's flowing and blowing the air neither up nor down, just across the room here and there. And if I were to drop a feather from a hole inside, and now which wind does that feather get caught in? The fan that is blowing air up, which is likened to sattvic, like lifting me up, or the one that is blowing down, which is likened to tamasic, like you just sit on the ground, on the floor, and just stay there and do nothing? Or am I blown here and there and constantly neither here nor there with the table fan, left and right? That's a rajasic. That's what Purvi Ben is referring to, that example. That's sort of the jivatma feeling stuck in it. But what we have covered in that context in prior chapters is the jivatma is actually the outside of the glass box, looking at it, thinking as if I am in it. It's the mind that's inside the glass box, not the atma. This is not related to this chapter, but just because you mentioned, I'll just quickly bring it up. And so we have to recognize at some point the sakshatkar jo hota hai, the realization self-realization is the moment when we wait a minute, I am not that feather. I'm not it. It doesn't matter. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, all three, none of the three are actually desirable. What's desirable is what's Gunatit, Jisika, 14th chapter. Above, the one that transcends, the one that's actually watching Sakshi Bhavs, the 13th chapter, 14th chapter, both of those. The witness alone itself. But just to help, imagine that glass container, glass room has one hole somewhere up there in some corner that the feather can actually escape out. If it could manage its trajectory amidst all these three kinds of winds, it can escape out and now not affected by the winds anymore. It's not affected by the gunas, which means gunatit. Atit is beyond, guno ke atit. And then looking back saying like, what was that? And so we have to align ourselves. It's the sattvic guna that have the tendency to take us towards that hole that's above. We have to be allowed to be lifted up by the winds that are blowing upward. And hence sattvic choices, calming down, being content, slowing down, gets us there faster, as I often say. Slowing down will get you there quicker, faster. You know? So that's what you were referring to, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Okay, so then we'll take a couple more shlokas today, and then we can pause after that. So, Shamo Dama Tapas Shaucham Kshantir Arjavamevacha Jnana Vijnanam Astikyam Brahma Karma Svabhavajam. So I'll read this in Hindi, 42, 43, 44. This क्या होते ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैश्य शूद्र. अंतःकरण का निग्रह करना, इंद्रियों का दमन करना, धर्म पालन के लिए कष्ट सहना, बाहर भीतर से शुद्ध रहना, दूसरों के अपराधों को क्षमा करना, मन, इंद्रिय और शरीर को सरल रखना, वेद, शास्त्र, ईश्वर और परलोक आदि में श्रद्धा रखना, वेद शास्त्रों का अध्ययन अध्यापन करना और परमात्मा के तत्व का अनुभव करना, ये सब के सब ब्राह्मण के स्वाभाविक कर्म है. अगर मैं अपने आप को ब्राह्मण कहलाता हूँ और कहलाता हूँ ना, बॉर्न इन ब्राह्मण फैमिली, तो यहाँ पर मेरे लिए कहीं नहीं रखा कि बिजनेस बढ़ाना, प्रॉपर्टी जमा करना, इसमें मेरे लिए तो क्या प्रिस्क्रिप्शन है. भगवान ने कहा प्रिस्क्रिप्शन तो मैं कह रहा हूँ, लाइक आई एम कॉलिंग इट अ प्रिस्क्रिप्शन, बट इट्स नॉट रियली अ प्रिस्क्रिप्शन, इट्स जस्ट नेचुरल क्वालिटीज. शमो दम तप शौचम शांतिम आर्जवमेव च ज्ञानम विज्ञानम आस्तिक्यम ब्रह्म कर्म स्वभावजम. Those are supposed to be, are meant to be my settings. You know, when I was born, I was supposed to be born with those settings, and those happen to be the settings that are taking us close to that hole that I just described in the glass door, from which that feather of my mind that I think I am, that I've identified with, can escape and show me that actually I'm outside. I'm not affected by these. So those qualities are the ones that gravitate me. Not other qualities will keep me in this glass box, ghumna, like rotating, and the third one will just put me down and like have no chance to go up there. These are the qualities that will, and I've been endowed with those. This is the big deal. I've been endowed with those. I was born. When I say I represent the entire Brahman community, and now you know by that I do not mean those who were born as Brahmins, those who have these tendencies. And he's describing those tendencies. Can say pehla shama. First one is shama. अष्टांग योग जो होता है पतंजलि योग सूत्र सुना, उनमें से एक नियमों में से आता है एक. शम is deep quietude, deep contentment, really happy with what is there, the relaxed state of mind, Nilabai, that you're actually pretty cool with what's around. You know? Like Madhvi, I have to plug this in. The best definition of shama I have found is in Yoga Vasishtha Maharamayan. Not even Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and Vasishtha Muni describes it for Ramji. कहते हैं कि आत्मा के लक्षण तो शम में स्थित होते. तो राम asked like गुरु जी शम क्या होता है, शम का क्या होता है, दम क्या होता है, यम क्या होता है, नियम क्या होता है. These are the question answer in Yoga Vasishtha Maharamayan, which is not the story of Ramayana. It has nothing to do with Ram and Ram's story. It is entirely simply a conversation between a guru and a disciple. Ram has assumed the position of disciple, and Vasishtha Brahma Rishi is his guru. So one of the questions that he asks is about Sham, and he very beautifully describes संपूर्ण संसार की वासना का त्याग करके भीतर से सदैव प्रसन्न रहने को शम कहते हैं राम जी. I mean, it's just loaded, है ना. I'll slow down and repeat that again. संपूर्ण संसार की वासना का त्याग करके भीतर से सदैव शांत रहने को शम कहते हैं, है ना. So the one who's rid of all worldly desires, no longer hankering, saying I need this, यो जाए वो जाए, I want that, just this much, that much. संपूर्ण संसार की वासना, तृष्णा, like this deep longing, yearning, का त्याग करके भीतर से, although inside, so outside may or may not have enough or whatever, inside sadaiva, at all times, every moment, prasanna, not khush, not anandi, prasanna is absolutely, is this the unstoppable stream of joy flowing, steady stream of bliss flowing. उसे श्याम कहते थे. ये तो पहला ही लक्षण in this ब्राह्मण के description में, if I am to call myself Brahman, then I must demonstrate these qualities. So shama, यहाँ पे जो पहला आता है. The second is dhamma, shamo dhammastapak shantim. Dham is the outer discipline, the one who is able to follow the disciplines. जो thou shall not की जो है, जो 10 commandments है Christians के, thou shall not, if I am told that I should not, then I will not do it. How strictly, how rigorously do I follow those? How resolute am I? How much grit am I able to show? If I've taken up some vow, कोई promise, if I've given a promise, how much do I honor my word, no matter what? Those are all in the categories of dhamma, external discipline. The sham is internal discipline, and dham is internal discipline is because just the mind doesn't want it. Khalo, yeah, like let's go have a party, let's go do. No, I don't need it. It's not that I don't want it, it's just I don't need it, therefore I will not have it. Remember, Satvikta is characterized by only what's needed. So I don't need it, therefore it's okay. A dhamma is prohibiting the senses from running around. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Not running after I have to hear this, I want to listen to that, this, that. Or sparsha, or you gotta see this, gotta see that, let's go check that out. No, not needed, not necessary. Or a rupa, rasa, gandha, khana, pina, ye sab. The external restraint on that is dhamma. So shama, dhamma, tapa is the third characteristic of a Brahman. Tapa is hard work. Tap is heat generated. Heat is generally generated when we rub something on each other. Friction jab hota hai, when there is a struggle. That's right. And so tapa is struggling to get it, constantly, relentless in it. जो तपस्या करते हैं, tapa asya, sa tapasya. The one who continues to struggle until the mission is accomplished is tapasvi. In Krishna, in the 6th chapter, says tapasvi bhyadiko yogi, that word comes there. Anyway, so shama, dhamma, tapa, kshanti, forgiveness, forgiveful, forgiving, in other words, letting go. Again, aligns with the relaxed state of mind that chill with it, cool with it, it's okay. Someone who can very casually, very easily say, it's okay, like you do. Sometimes I say, like, it's your mantra, like, it's okay mantra. Like, she's like chants that 108 times during the day, it's okay. Okay. So, that kshanti, obviously, kshanti is kshamashil shanti. Forgivefully content, forgivefully quiet. Not just quiet, but quiet because it has forgiven. I'm not disturbed. You behaved the way you wanted to. It did not affect me, and therefore I'm quiet. You made your choice of cursing me, of using the language that you did. I am making the choice of not being affected by it, not accepting it. Therefore, I am quiet. You may be aggravated. I am not. I'm not going to. And that's the reward of shanti. Shamo, dhamma, tapa, shantim. ब्राह्मण का जो चल रहा है, शौच भी आता है. शांतिम आर्जवमेव च. Shauch is cleanliness. Shauch of 3 kinds: manasa, vacha, karmana. Clean thoughts, clean words, and clean deeds. Not just typically external cleansing. Like generally शौच लोग समझते हैं नहा लिया कि शौच हो गया. I've taken a shower, I've bathed, so I'm shauch. That's just the outside, that's just the body that was washed. I am not the body. I washed my car does not mean I took a shower. No. It's not enough to say, yeah, I washed my car, I'm good to go. Well, no, have you taken a shower? I washed my whatever, like my backpack to the carrier, no, but have you taken a shower? ऐसे ही I took a shower does not mean I am clean. I took a shower does not necessarily mean I am clean, because I am not just the body. I am so many other things. I am the body, but I am also other things. No? So इसलिए शौच का महत्व है कि at a minimum there are 3 aspects to my being: मन, वाणी और कर्म. जय श्री कृष्ण. जय श्री कृष्ण. So then watchful, a Brahman would be the one who would watchful of inner thoughts. Are my thoughts clean? Are my thoughts pure? I may be talking very sweet, mind you, but you may not know what's actually in my mind, on my mind, in my heart. You know? I will know. I do know what's on my mind and what is it that I want. And so this is the path of introspection. This is a path of self-reflection. This is a path of contemplation. Am I being clean? The cleaner that I'm inside, it automatically will show up outside. I need not worry so much about my external cleansing. No, that'll automatically show if I'm clean from within or not. So that's manasa, vacha. Why would I not, my vani, my words, the way I speak, I can choose to be sweet and good, clean. Why do I have to curse? Why do I have to use bad words? I can make an effective point, what I'm trying to say, without profanity, for example, right? Being profane is ashauch. Shauch is being not resorting to profanity. Vani mein, vanika. And then achar also, through deeds. So shama, dama, tapa, shaucham. That's shauch is cleanliness. Kshantim, arjava. Arjava is humility, simplicity, being very humble about it. Whatever it is, however it is, simple and humble. It's actually pretty. Gujarati में आर्जव नाम भी होता है ना गुजराती लोगों का. I love that. It's a rare word. It's a unique word. It's one of the most beautiful words that I've heard, and it appears in the Gita a couple of times, and it goes beyond any one word. It isn't just humble. It isn't just being simple. It's just like a really lovely combination of all of those. It's being really someone who knows everything and yet doesn't let show, but still humbly asks. Someone who has everything, doesn't show, but still assumes a lesser position. And those kinds of behaviors show up in arja. And so a Brahman is supposed to know, and they do, like real Brahmins would know. But they wouldn't just go on just pontificating. Pontiffs नहीं होते. Brahmins are not pontificating. Lecturebazi नहीं होती है ना, बिना बुलाए, बिना कहे पूछे. So only when asked, only as much as necessary, all in humility, always giving grace to the graceful, always giving glories to the only one that is glorious, which is the Lord of Lords, the Lord of Love. As humans, we cannot be, and we are not as glorious. We can never be. The greatest of human beings that walked on the earth could not be as glorious and as graceful as the creator of that human being. You know? Therefore, giving credit where credit is due always, without exception, is part of being arjo also. And therefore, I say that this is a very beautiful word. So, shamo, dama, tapa, shaucham, shantim, arjavam evacha. Evacha, like also, and also uncompromising. Evacha also signifies that without exception, across the board, you will see that those behaviors. स्वाध्याय अभ्यास आगे जो आते हैं इसके बाद में ज्ञानम विज्ञानम आस्तिक्यम ब्रह्म कर्म स्वभावजम. So the only pursuit in the life of a Brahman is the pursuit of knowledge. It's not the pursuit of wealth. It's not the pursuit of power. It's not the pursuit of any other material or matter and anything else, name, fame, wealth, progeny, none of that. It is the pursuit of knowledge. Right? So, uske liye the gyan, and Vigyan, like the application of it. Jnanam, Vijnanam. Vigyan is the application of it. Not just knowing, but actually using it, applying what I know. In other words, ब्राह्मण के आचरण में वो शो अप होना चाहिए, होता है. वास्तविक ब्राह्मण जो है, they teach by example, they're exemplars. उन्हें आचार्य कहते हैं, है ना? सुना है ना शब्द आचार्य? आचार्य is the one who teaches by आचरण. Charana in Sanskrit is walking, the one who walks the talk. The role model who teaches by example is the acharya, because he's walking the path, he's taking his own medicine. That's acharya, and that's the feeling behind this vigyan, jnanam, vijnanam. So pursuing knowledge, having it, receiving it, and then sharing it through example, through behaviors. Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Astha. But this setting is in believing. They're believers, predominantly. They believe in the goodness of the system, of the integrity of the system. They realize that the system is dynamically intelligent. The system around us, that we are all a part of, is watchful, is capable. Samartha hai, Bhagwan samartha unki आस्था होती. आस्था का पहला लक्षण क्या आता है? The firm belief that my God is capable. The God behind me is mightier than the enemy in front of me. That is astha. Yes, I am facing many enemies. Which one? Like inside and outside. The ferocious ones inside, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mad, Matsar, all of these, right? The jealousies and the desires and anger, all of those are. But though mightier than all of those enemies combined is the Lord who is beating in my chest every few moments, or I'm breathing His breath through. So that is astha. It isn't just dharmic hai, religious hai. Generally, so my trouble with the interpretations of the Gita is just literal translate karke. People are content with it. And as you know now, like again and again, and I again hit hard on the meaning behind the words, that take words seriously. Akshara ko Brahma kaha hai, Shabda Brahma kaha hai, Nad Brahma kaha hai, meaning the Lord is in the Word. In the Bible it says first there was the Word and the Word was God. ऐसे ही हमारे शास्त्रों में भी आता है, पहले ओमकार निकला ध्वनि, शब्द रूप से प्रकट हुआ भगवान, है ना? इसलिए शब्दों का बहुत महत्व है, शब्दों की ओर ध्यान देना चाहिए. So astha isn't just a believers. Okay? So this firm belief within that the God with me that I've brought is mightier than everything else that's against me, all the forces behind me. That setting, the default setting in that is that the system will do it right, that I don't have to take revenge, that the watchful system is taking note, and right shall be done, justice shall prevail, dharma ki jeet hogi, satyam eva jayate, truth will prevail. All these beliefs combined are in astha, the setting. And therefore, as Nilay Bhai described, the mental state is always that of relaxed, because the deep conviction is that nahi yaar koi ho jayega sab theek. ये कहने के लिए नहीं, you don't just throw these words, हो जाएगा सब ठीक हो जाएगा पीठ थोप के, और ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. If I don't believe that सब ठीक होगा, I should not say it, tell the person who is in trouble that सब ठीक हो जाएगा. How do I know? वो शब्दों का में सामर्थ्य नहीं होगा. When I deeply believe that सब ठीक है, सब ठीक तभी होगा अगर सब ठीक अभी है. Everything will be all right later is a myth. Everything is all right now is a fact. Whatever is happening, and that comes out of astha, when I understand that the system is watchful and is doing what is right and doing what is for my benefit. And it may not seem to be so right now, but 3 days from now, a year from now, I'm going to realize that was good for me, that was right for me. And yes, sab astha hai. So jnanam vijnanam astikyam, astha, brahma karma swabhavajam. Those who are born in Brahman, or those who consider themselves Brahmins, these are their natural duties. Now remember, swabhavajam. These are their natural duties. You don't have to go learn in any school about this for those who are endowed with it, or you don't have to particularly get trained or skilled in it. For them, this is natural. They should stay in it. What he's suggesting is stay there. You've come to the highest rung of the ladder. The next step is experience of God. इस शास्त्रों की बातें कह रहा हूँ, मैं अपना मसाला नहीं सामने रख रहा हूँ. इस स्थिति में जब आते हैं, this relaxed state of mind that we just talked about, that super सात्विक ब्राह्मण पद में जब आते हैं, that is the highest rung of the material ladder. प्रकृति में जो जितना evolve हो सकते हैं, this is the highest stage of evolution. And I don't believe in Darwin's evolution of the body, but I'm a firm believer in the spirit, evolution of the spirit. So we have evolved as humans and as believers and as practitioners until this point. The next step for us is actually the experience of the whole. We consider ourselves as the part, the tiny part, the little small piddly part, struggling, about to experience that I am not that aham brahma asmi, I am the greatest. So therefore they stay in this stage. They don't go to grow something. They don't create their ashrams. They don't want some 80,000 disciples. They don't want more temples. They don't want the big title of Mahamahant. And they don't have all these malas and bhasmas and all of that. Maybe not. It doesn't prohibit. But firmly, first and foremost, situated in the internal state of mind. You know? So that's Brahma Karma. Like, how are we doing on time? We can why don't we pause here and then take some reflection, reaction, and then the next time we can start with next time we'll be able to finish the Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and then take that sort of get on that exit ramp that I said. This is the final exit. It's the grand opening of the Gita. Okay, fair enough. So we had said that everybody is endowed with all of these, but disproportionately gifted with those. And those are not gifts from God. We have earned those. It's not like Bhagwan ne kisi ko Brahman bana diya. He made someone randomly. It's not a random God that we worship. It's a very thoughtful, it's a very precise God that we worship. The system is very, very precise. Randomly nahi bana diya kisi ko Brahman, kisi ko Kshatriya, Vaishya. वही बनाया जो चाहता था. However, I continuously displayed life after life. I continuously demonstrated, this is what I like, this is what I want, this is what I like, this is what I want. And he said, okay, you get that, do that. I say. So now we just went over the characteristics of Brahman, which was again Shamo, Dhamma, Tapa, Shaucham, Shantim, Arjavamevacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma Karma, Swabhavajam. These are naturally endowed characteristics of a Brahman. So please share who picked up what, who liked what, and what will you do about it? Yeah, no, I agree. It's thoughts, words, and deeds, all three at all times, right? Like it's not just intention. So we don't want to sugarcoat it and say, well, my intention was good. I smacked you, but I was like, it's all three at all times. Just be careful with it. Otherwise, we can disproportionately run amok with it. You know, my intention. It is all three. In other words, it is across my being. If I'm thinking, if I'm talking, if I'm doing, across the more as much as it is. And it is also, just to clarify, it is not that we asked to be a Brahman or a Kshatriya or Shudra. In other words, there is no one person sitting there on a throne and I'm asking, please make me this. It isn't that. It's just that we are creating our own destiny through our own behavior, through the pattern that we're setting of constantly life after lifetime. How am I showing up? It's informing the system, the intelligence system around me, that this soul, this lifelet, likes this, wants to continue on this, and has all the power. Like we are lifelets. We are the creators of our own lives, right? So we are creating ourselves. No one is granting me Brahmanhood or Kshatriya or Shadri. I am just doing that as part of the system because I am the system. At the end of the final truth, the final revelation, when it will dawn, it will. I am that system that I've been talking about it, and hence dharma. So Krishna wasn't, in a sense, Madhu, you're right. He displayed being upset, but what he had said when he showed Vishwarup Darshan is that Nimitta Matra Bhava Sabya Sachin. It isn't that I want to give you the glory. It is that I want. Here is an example that the world will see that those who fight on the side of dharma, no matter how weak, No matter how less, their Sena was 1/3, the other was mightier and 2/3, but there is some unforeseen force, unseen force that is behind them, that's not seen, that will dharmo rakshati rakshitah is a very famous vakya in the Shastra. One who protects his dharma protects him, period. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat, Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Even a little bit of effort will protect you against the greatest of dangers. And this behavior was a demonstration of that. He just wanted to show to the extent to which I will go as God to make sure that dharma first, and dharma being integrity, system integrity, not Hindu dharma, this dharma, to maintain the integrity of the system that I have created. I will easily forego my own word, but will not compromise the integrity of it. And so it just literally took him to the brink of it, like, I am ready. If you want, I'll break my own promise. And by the way, as Madhvi astutely pointed out, that wasn't a weapon. Nobody had used a chariot wheel until then as a weapon, and therefore no one could call it a weapon. And so his clever as Krishna ever is, it never broke his promise. मैं शस्त्र नहीं उठाऊंगा, मैंने रथ का पहिया उठाया. So all missions fulfilled. Therefore, thanks for sharing. You very well said, Madhvi. It's a state of being, not a state of doing. It's very accurately coined. Who else? You know you do. You just proved it by saying that these are such beautiful qualities. You just have informed the system around you. If you trust me, if you believe that I'm not lying, then you just have triggered that process by vocalizing it. जब ये मन में जब 10 बार विचार आता है तब मुंह से एक बार निकलता है. So, है ना? So you thought about this and you've just lit that lamp that, hey, I like that. That's where I want to go next. You said, कहाँ पर शमो दमः तपः शांतिम तप आर्जवम न ज्ञानम विज्ञानम आस्तिक्यम ब्रह्म कर्म स्वभावजम. So you have just made the choice by simply saying that it कितना सुंदर है, how beautiful it is. And that's an intelligent signal sent to the system, which is super intelligent, that wait a minute, this soul now wants to turn the trajectory. And therefore, never mind which body you're born in, that's just the body. You have chosen the path of Brahmanhood. है ना, by doing that. और वैसे भी आप शांत बैठी हो, वैसे भी you seem to be a person content anyway. So you should give more credit to yourself than you do. Would you all agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You
say
Madhvi, thank you. There's nothing controversial about your saying. It actually further strengthens this knowledge. So you are spot on. You hit the bullseye. In the 4th chapter, we had heard Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga sansiddhim kalena atmani vindati. So this struggle that you talk about is sakshi bhav se jo ज्ञान से जो साक्षी भाव आता है. When you're able to witness, you realize that I'm outside of this glass container. I'm actually not good, bad, ugly, mix any of it. I assume that identity. I have misidentified myself with this body, with this mind, this bad mind, this bad rakas running around. I am not that. I'm actually the neutral Atma. When you can sit, stand, and stay in that glory, when you can live your life in the glory of a neutral witness, sakshi jyo ka tyo, that is Brahma Bhavana. As Bhagwan khud कहते कि when that knowledge dawns upon you, then तुलसीदास जी कहते कभी न छूटे पिंड दुखों से जिसे ब्रह्म का ज्ञान नहीं. Until you realize this, that you are actually the neutral entity, तटस्थ जीवात्मा है. तट is, ये भगवान की शक्ति है. तट is the river bank, the shore, sea shore. तट है ना, नदी तट, समुद्र तट. स्थ मतलब खड़ा. ये भगवान की मार्जिनल पोटेंसी, गॉड्स बहिरंगा शक्ति है, बाहर की एक्सटर्नल, विच इज प्रकृति, द मैनिफेस्टेशन. उसकी स्वरूपा शक्ति, इंटरनल पोटेंसी, द सत्य चित्त आनंद स्वभाव. एंड ये बीच में मार्जिनल, जैसे नदी में पानी है और इधर ड्राई जमीन भी है, सूखी जमीन में, बीच में कीचड़ होता है ना. सो व्हेन यू गो ऑन द बीच, देयर इज लाइक दिस वेट सैंड, ओ दैट स्टिक्स, दैट्स यकी. और द रिवर बैंक में मडी, वो पूरा पानी भी नहीं है, पूरा ये मिट्टी भी नहीं है. पूरी मिट्टी होती तो ठीक थे, सूखे थे, पूरे पानी में भी साफ सुथरे थे, लेकिन ये कीचड़ में फंस गया. तटस्थ जीवात्मा. सो आई एज अ जीवात्मा आई स्टक. Sometimes I think I'm this, sometimes I think I'm that. I actually want that. I want to be on the dry land, but I tend to keep going towards this water and then fall and then drown and get back up and get stuck in the mud. Tatastha jivatma. Jab tak ye nahi pata chala ki actually I'm not that. I don't have to any of this. But the effect that happens, you actually drop the rajasikta, tamasikta. So the way it shows up is actually sattvic, because you still are alive in the mortal body, and so the choices you make are automatically, not effortfully, but effortlessly, spontaneously, on their own. They are sattvic choices because you're already content, because you don't want anything, because you know that you're above everything. So there's nothing controversial about it. And so the more you can bring that bhavana within you, especially when things are not going well, especially when the mind is not listening, and especially when I am behaving bad, if I can somehow bring that knowledge back in my head that, wait a minute, I am not being bad. My words, my deeds, my thoughts may be bad, not as an excuse, but as a leverage to pull myself out of it. It doesn't matter to me. You listen to me, you don't listen to me, you go run in an accident, I try to tell you, it doesn't matter. I'm the neutral witness of all this. Then you suddenly pull yourself out of it.
Yeah.
That's the glory of that gyan, and therefore stay on that. Actually, that is a stronger. That's the ज्ञानियों का पाथ जो है वो just suddenly rescue करता है. It's a swift rescue.